So recently, also speaking of comedy, we seen George Lopez kind of got into it with a heckler. She happened to be a black woman or black and Mexican, as we found out, and basically he was saying something to the effect that Mexicans can't bring black people home, which may hold some truth from what some people are saying. I'm not Mexican, but
I know Spanish people who were like,
who feel the same way.
Who, it's not that they feel it's like they were like, yeah, that's how Grandpa talked. That's how Grandma talked for real. Grandma just like. Immigrants be just right out there with the racism. Like immigrants are like non-black immigrants, just they don't.
I think it's just the older people. Like
like the old ones will they'll just be racist right in your face to the kids. Like I don't give a fuck. I don't like niggas. And like you Chinese and shit, you're like, whoa, that's crazy. So what he said as far as the Mexican thing is true. Now how he handled it is a little different. And the only reason I didn't even really give a solid opinion on it just because I've seen people handle heckling all different types of ways. I've seen people try to make jokes with the heckler. I've seen people do what he did, which is fuck you, get out. Like immediately, like fuck you, get out. I don't give a fuck, get out. Like some people don't want to deal with hecklers at all. And this dude's been doing it for like 30 years. So when you do something for 30 years, you might not have patience for the bullshit no more. So if somebody's standing up and yelling or standing up and giving you the bird, you might not have the patience for that. You'd be like, yo, well, you can leave. Get the fuck out. I don't give a fuck. And that might have been what it been, like the situation at that point.
Well, how would Hennessy Williams handle a heckler? Like, how do you handle somebody?
Usually, when I get heckled, because the heckling for me, it's like people don't like just yell like boo or nothing like that, or like usually if someone says something, I'm almost ADD with the shit where I will talk to a person who heckles. Like I will talk to them and I will figure out what the situation is. If they're just someone who's just trying to say some shit and disrupt the show, or if there's someone who just don't know how to like contain themselves, so I help them contain themselves. So I usually play around like that.
So you'll basically joke through it. You'll joke.
Yeah, I'll joke through the shit. And sometimes every once in a while you get people who just an asshole, and then that's when you change the tone of the show, and then the show becomes about that person, but how much of an asshole they are, and then the crowd loves it. You just getting at the person, and everybody just is like laughing louder than the dude can respond or the chick can respond to you. So you just got to know how you flip it or not. If someone's not truly an asshole inside, they just someone that like to talk, I'll joke around with them. If they an asshole, I'll joke at them. So that's how I do it.
And you've done this a few times. You've seen.
Oh yeah, I've living in South Florida. You deal with that sort of stuff. South Florida is not famous for having audiences sit quietly and listen to you and absorb what you're saying. They be wild. So sometimes you got to deal with wild motherfuckers, and you just learn how to deal with it. I've been lucky that it didn't happen too much, but I have had the experiences, so I learned from how to deal with those.
Have you ever seen anything go further than just heckling? Like maybe anything getting actually physical?
Yeah.
With the participants in the crowd?
Yeah, not with me, but I've seen like situations where a comedian like pushed the dude because the dude came up to him and the stage wasn't that very high. So the dude came up to him like on some like, well, let's do it then. And the comedian pushed the dude and knocked over all these tables. The drunk dude fell down. They kicked him out and all that shit. But yeah, that particular comic was not the type of dude to do that shit too. It was a tough type dude.
Like do push-ups?
Huh? Like he do push-ups. Well, I mean, the nigga looked dangerous. So he, you know what I'm saying? So he was that type and it didn't go well for that heckler.
That's crazy.
But sometimes hecklers, they'll beat your ass because they got like a pistol, and they got niggas with them. And you just gotta take that L.
But it sounds like a heckler kind of helps the show because it gives you content, or at least the way that you handle it. Or is it?
It helps the show in that now you've made me pay attention, because some comics might sleep through their set. They gotta act down pat, like they know what they're gonna do for the next hour, half hour. But when you got a heckler, all of a sudden you got to wake up. So that's what it does. It wakes the comic up. But then, you kind of mess up everything, and the comic now's got to do extra work, and it's not really fun.
Sounds fun to me.
I'm sure. Like it just, some people's personalities are like that. Like I'm at that point though where I got actual shit I want to talk about. So it's always better for me to be left alone so I can actually just talk about my shit.
Because you're still kind of on your way, so you actually want to get that out there. Like you want
I still need to work out my material, and I got opinions and ideas I need to say. So I want to keep pushing in that way.